Come join Paul and Mario at Diamond Hawk Golf Course Saturday, September 11th for the Hashtag Sports Not So Invitational. Come golf with these idiots in this four-person scramble, which will feature golf with cart, dinner, hole-in-one contest, silent auction, and a live show with all proceeds benefiting Matthew 25 Farms. Registration could be found in the description of this video, and if you'd like to sponsor, email us at htagsports@gmail.com to help raise money for this great charity.
You? Are you signing up for that? I'm not.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. This is Tailgate Talk. My name is Mike. I will be your host. Over on this side is my boy, Tommy. What's going on, Tommy?
What up, Mikey? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long week, but now I got a week off, for the long holiday, and then I took a couple of extra days off. So, and it's my fantasy draft weekend, so I'm real excited.
Nice. You got Josh Allen, right? I'm guessing you got
do.
the man.
I do. I play
right.
in a very deep keeper league, and I have the Allen to Diggs connection.
All right, good, because you will lose if you do not have Josh Allen. Those are facts, people. If you play fantasy and you don't have Josh Allen, just go ahead and quit.
Yeah, so as we move through this tonight's show, we're going to go ahead and talk about the 53-man roster. That has now been set. Really excited about that. There was a surprise trade that I was not expecting. I know we did our predictions last week, and I had 7 DNs. Obviously, we didn't keep 7 DNs. We did keep 11 D linemen, but we kept 5 D tackles, and we traded Bam Johnson, which was a little bit of a bummer. I was a big Bam Johnson fan. I loved what he brought from the special teams, but someone had to go, and that's what they decided. So,
yeah, it is what it is, man. I was shocked, to be honest with you. I did not see that coming. If anyone, I thought our Addison would be traded. But listen, man, we are so packed at defensive edge. And then special teams, man. We have so many special players, man. So it is what it is. We got something out of it. And Brandon Bean, we trust, right? So we got he's taking us this far. So I trust whatever he does. I'm pretty good with it, man.
Absolutely. They haven't steered us wrong yet. So at the end of the day, we got to roll with what they decide. Let's hope keeping Vernon Butler over Bam Johnson doesn't come back to bite us.
I see you don't like Butler. I think I like Butler. I know. But I think Butler is a quality rotational player. I do. I think he's okay. Now, will he be here after this season? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not paying him a crazy amount of money. I think he's a good, like I said, good rotational. He's been in our system a little bit now, right?
Yeah.
I like him. The problem with Daryl Johnson is he didn't get many reps with us as far as rotations go. He was more of a special teamer. So I think that's why they got rid of him. You know what I mean? We could afford that. We had a lot of special teamers, man.
Yeah, I think we have 7 that are special teamers that are dedicated. But that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
McDermott and Bean, they prioritize special teams. He wants to be elite at all 3 phases. Can't be mad at that.
Yep. And Taiwan Jones, Saran Neal, I mean, those dudes are killing it, man.
So before we get into the actual 53-man breakdown, I'm going to play a little Mr. Rogers Homes for you.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona? Please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions so we can take the next step to your financial freedom here in the Valley of the Sun, utilizing real estate. As always, God bless America, and go Buffalo!
What's going on? What jersey is Mr. Rogers wearing? That away early 2000s jersey. Is that I want listen, Mr. Rogers, do me a favor and let us know what jersey that is. I think it's a number 1, but I can't tell. But or unless it's custom, but that definitely is like a 2000 and what is that? A 2002 maybe 2000 away jersey. I think.
Yeah, I think it was during that time.
2002, 2003.
I'll tell you, I was not a big fan of those uniforms at all.
I have one of those uniforms.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hate those uniforms so much. I hated them.
Watch it. All right, now Mr. Rogers is pissed off. You owe him an apology. You heard that? Right?
Like, hey, more power to you. If you were one of the people who really liked those uniform concepts, more power to you.
Well, me and Mr. Rogers, we like those jerseys.
Hey,
take that. Get out of here, Mike.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. But let's go ahead and jump into this. Well, I figured we'd talk about the offensive skill positions first. At quarterback, no surprise, we kept 2, Allen and Trubisky. And then we signed, what was a surprise is I didn't expect us to sign both Davis and Webb back to the practice squad. That kind of caught me by surprise. I thought we were done with Fromm. Be perfectly honest.
I did too. I actually tweeted out. I'm like, thank God. Like Trent Edwards 2.0. Everybody who knows me knows I hate Trent Edwards, and there's always one Buffalo Bill player I don't like for some reason, and Fromm is one of them. Man, I just don't like Fromm. But honestly, let's see how long that lasts. You know how that is, man. You could get a practice squad player and they wind up getting dumped a week later. So for a guy that we need, a position player we need, you know how that works. So nobody's guaranteed on the practice squad,
I do. I know how that works. Oh, Paul, I think it's Paul who is in the chat, thinks he's funny and is giving me his condolences on Bobby Hart. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I'm so sorry. Man, can we start a GoFundMe for Mike? Oh, God.
Oh yeah. So I guess because we have a 16-man practice squad, so having them both there, I guess, doesn't hurt. There's something that McDermott and Bean see and from that I don't see, but there's a reason why they're paid to do this and I'm not.
Yeah, they see him as potential trade bait for some sucker.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I do. Listen, that last game, I don't even know if we talked about that, but the last preseason game, you didn't find that odd that Trubisky didn't play one snap and Fromm got the whole second half? Like, you didn't find that little snap. Who, Trubisky?
He played one snap.
I don't recall that. But if
he went in, he handed the ball off and he left again.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's what he did, I don't recall that. But either way, Fromm played the whole. I kind of felt like they were showcasing him, to be honest with you, kind of like the AJ McCarron thing that we did. Mm-hmm. If you remember, he played that whole game. He actually played okay, and we traded him. They probably found no takers. I'll be real with you. Like, who the hell wants Jake Fromm?
No, and the Raiders was cut. No one touched him.
No, that's what I'm saying. So they probably were trying to potentially trade him. Nobody wanted him. Then they cut him. And then, of course, nobody wanted him again. And then we picked him up. But no, bro. Come on, man. Like, no. He's not a quality backup. He's a clipboard holder, bro. That is it. I do not want to see him on our sidelines. I
will tell you. Bean has come out and said he has the it factor. And when they say the it factor, it means they're going to, granted, he'll be sitting on our practice squad all year, but Trubisky's only here 1 year. So are we going to see Fromm more next year? I sure hope we don't. I hope we find a better, number 2 next year.
We will. We definitely will. Listen, there's going to be a lot. There's always a good quality backup in the league that you can get. Look, we got Trubisky. Exactly. We got Trubisky on a cheap deal. Like, that's one of the best backups you can get in the league right now. But there's other quality backups that I'll take all day over Fromm. You know what I mean? Like, there's I'll take Andy Dalton over freaking Fromm. I honestly would. If Dalton, is done over there, after one season. I'll take Fitzmagic over Fromm any day of the week. Fromm's terrible.
Like, Fromm made our practice squad, so at least we wanted him. we always talk about good old AJ McCarron. We know how much Paul loved him. He couldn't even make our practice squad. We just dealt him off and see you later. We don't even want you in the building.
Well, that's because we can get something. Maybe obviously we want to know, but I guarantee you they definitely try to make phone calls to move from. Guarantee you, man. There's no way they played him. They didn't play Webb. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like they did that on purpose. Could be wrong, but
they say in here to have some more respect for Fromm.
He gets none from me. Zero.
However, we're spending far too much time talking about Jake Fromm.
Yes, tonight. This is a Jake Fromm special.
So let's move on over to the running backs. We have Singletary, Moss, Breida, Jones, and Gilliam. There was no surprise there for me. I actually had all of them on mine. Yep. I will be interested to see how it plays on game day, knowing that we have 5 there. Who are going to be the ones that sit?
Yeah, I think Breida will. I think Breida will get the less reps out of Moss and Singletary. I still think Singletary will get more snaps than Moss, but not by much. And then 1-2 is Singletary Moss. I think Breida, like you said earlier, he's going to be more of the pass catching, running back. You know what I mean? Like
so Green. Who of those 5 is a game day inactive? You can't carry five
Gilliam.
Running backs.
I think
but he's our third tight end.
It's game to game. McDermott's done that, right? He's done that plenty of times. Well, one guy will sit, he won't be active, and then it depends on the situation, who we're playing, maybe the conditions of the game, right? We're going to run the ball more, which I do not see us running at all. Like, it could be a freaking blizzard. I still think we're going to pass like crazy, but we'll see.
I don't see us running the ball that much more. I mean, I think we'll be more effective in the run.
For sure.
I liked some of the concepts that we brought back this year. We brought back a little bit more of the pin and pull. I noticed when we ran over Cody Ford, because that's what he does best, is just maul people. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out going into the season. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to put the ball in Josh's hands and let him throw it. We have our elite squad on our offense is our quarterback and our receivers. Yeah. That's where our playmakers are.
I think Singletary's going to get close to 1,000 yards. That's just my prediction. I think he's going to get close to 1,000 yards.
Total yards or rushing yards?
No, rushing. I think he's going to get close. Now, will he hit it? I don't know. But from what I saw in preseason and how they treated him with limited snap counts, they're going to be using Singletary more than you think, in my opinion. I think Singletary is going to have a nice little breakout year. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see how a game goes. But 1,000 yards is not – listen, 1,000 yards is not unheard of. I know people are like, well, we're a passing team. So was the 2002 Buffalo Bills, where we had multiple receivers with over 1,000 yards, and Travis Henry ran for 1,500 yards. So it's very possible, very, very possible that he gets close to 1,000. Why not? Why not? He got 750 his rookie season, and we barely used him. So it's very possible.
But Josh wasn't thrown for
extra game.
Yards.
No, I get that, but let me tell you this: we're also probably going to be way up in these games, and we're going to be running the ball a lot more in the third and fourth quarter.
Maybe
we're not going to be passing the fourth quarter if we're up 40 to 13. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when the running game's going to. The defense is going to be tired. We're going to be just running and running. That's how I see the season going. We're going to be starting off fast and scoring, right? Just fast and scoring. Boom, 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 boom. And then we're going to be so up that's when the running game comes into play. That's how I see the season going. So teams are going to have to match that. That's why I don't think teams are going to necessarily run on us so good. Like, everyone's scared of our defense stopping the run. The thing is, we score so fast and often, teams cannot play that running game again. They're going to have to be catching up. They're going to have to be passing. So I just, that's how I see the season going.
Yeah, I can see that. And I wouldn't be upset to see Singletary hit 1,000 yards. I would like to see what Moss is going to do, because he started taking carries last year. I'd like to see if they are truly behind Singletary now, or if they lean to bring Singletary on heavy in the beginning and then slowly transition to Moss like they were doing last year. It'll be interesting to see.
We'll see. We'll see. I think
We will.
I think he busted his ass in the offseason to show the coaches that he is that one, that number one. So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, Matthew Harmon comes in and says he thinks Moss hits 1,000 before Motor.
I don't.
That's
think so.
debate. It's the debate between Moss and Singletary.
I know it's been the debate since he was drafted. Like,
yeah,
Bills Mafia has something against Singletary for some odd reason, but no, I disagree. I think Singletary will definitely have the more carries. I think he'll have more yards, just like he did last season. Though it was close, but Singletary still had more yards, more carries. So that I see.
Scott Blakely's on Team Singletary.
Hey, thank you, Scott. See, Scott.
he thinks they'll have a combined 1,200 yard season. That's a big season for a back. I would love to see either one of them touch that.
No doubt. Hey, listen, I'm not mad if Moss gets 1,000 and Singletary doesn't. It just means both are working, running the ball great, but I still think Singletary is the primary back.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone has their favorites. I take the stance of I'll wait and see. If we get rookie Singletary, I think it's hard to set that guy. He's so elusive, know. But I love the potential of Moss, and if we can get rookie Singletary with a potential Moss, that was towards like the Pittsburgh game at the end of the year when he was running hard and breaking tackles. You have a 1-2 punch like that. That's all we need because our passing offense is gonna lead us.
But I'll tell you what I saw with Singletary and why I think he'll have a potential breakout season. His speed was his explosiveness, his speed when he got the ball looked way different than last year. Like, for instance, that touchdown that he had, that screen pass to go us, he was caught. Like they had him tackled. And bro, he didn't do that last season. He got caught up in the backfield constantly because he didn't have that explosive first step. But now it looks like he has it, man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and we'll get to the receivers next. And we'll be happily talk about Gabe and what I saw from him because I was really, really excited to see that see what Gabe did, this preseason. I was a little hesitant because he disappeared a lot down the stretch last year in games. But we'll finish up on the running back talk and then we'll switch to receivers. But at the end of the day, we know it's gonna be Singletary to start. Then Moss is number 2, and then I have a feeling we're gonna use Breida, kind of how we use McKenzie. Because I liked what I saw in the third preseason game using Breida on those jet sweeps and the screen passes. That just plays to his strengths.
Yeah, no doubt. Like the speed element for Breida is what's intriguing. That's what they like. But he's not going to be used as much as Singletary or Moss for sure. I just don't see that happening. Not running the ball. I think he'll be more of a screen passer, getting there for some screens, stuff like that. But I don't see him running the ball often, I think Gilliam will probably have more carries, to be honest with you, than Breida.
Yeah. You think so? You think Gilliam has more carries than Breida?
Yeah. Because on goal line, I think we're going to – listen, we kept him for a reason. It wasn't tight end. Like, that they like what he did in the short yards during the preseason. So I think they're going to use him in, like, goal line situations more often. They're going to use him more on short, like 3rd and 1s. Like, clearly, we were going to him in the preseason for those short yards, right? That means carries. So, yeah, I do. I think we're going to use Gilliam more than you think.
Okay.
Because why keep him? Honestly, like I'm just saying, as a tight end like that, they barely threw to him as a tight end in the preseason. He was more used as a running back, as a fullback. That's just my opinion. We'll see.
Looks like we have Mario in the house as well.
Mario.
Okay, so let's move on over to the wide receivers. Let's talk about it. We have Diggs, Sanders, Beasley, Davis, McKenzie. Those were the top 5. We all knew those were going to be the 5. Kumaro came on. It was an early training camp. Darlene held on to the job, and then we kept Stevenson. And you called it. You've been saying it from the jump that Stevenson was going to make the 53. Granted, he made the 53 and went straight to IR, but he made the 53.
Only 4 games. He'll be back during the season. I think they'll wind up. Yeah. He won't be on IR all season. I'll guarantee it. And can I speak on the Kumaro thing? Yes. I gotta say something. And listen. I'm sure the chat room's gonna hate me after this, but is Kumaro like the new Duke Williams? And I'm being real here. And listen, I love Duke too, and I love the whole Duke. I even bought a jersey. Like I was sold on Duke. Like we all have that certain player we just love. And I think Kumaro had the hype in camp where we were all doing the Duke thing for Kumaro, right? And instead of going Duke, it was touchdown Jesus. And what did he do really in preseason? Let's really be honest. He dropped a couple passes that were sure catches. Mind you, if that's a regular season, that's a big deal, right? That could have been a 3rd down play. That could have been an interception, the one he dropped. Sure-handed. He did catch 1 touchdown, but he didn't look that impressive. And I want him to work out because he's a 6'4" receiver. He seems to get along with Josh. But I didn't see anything that truly amazed me. Because listen, Duke Williams had some good preseason games too, and he had some bad ones too. And everybody got on Duke when he started dropping balls in the regular season, right? And Jay Kumaro has to fix that. He has to, because there was a lot of catches he dropped in the preseason. I was like, can't have that. And to me, he was on the bubble after he dropped those 2. And he made up for it by scoring a touchdown later. But I just kind of feel that Duke Williams kind of thing with Jay Kumaro. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope I am, but that's where I'm catching the feelings for Jay Kumaro from Bills Mafia.
And I'll tell you, who is it in the chats? I just missed it. It went by pretty quick, so I didn't see it. Matthew Harmon came on and said that's as bad as calling Hart for the 53-man roster. Nice. He does not like your take on Kumaro.
Well, I told you guys are going to hate my take on Kumaro, but that's because if I were to say that about Duke Williams 2 seasons ago when Duke first came here, and I came on the chat and I was like, listen, Duke Williams, chat would be like, screw you. They'd say the same thing. I'm just being real. Let's see what he does during the regular season.
Well, here's a good question. Would you prefer to keep John Brown over Kumaro? You would say,
yes.
Go sign him back.
In a heartbeat.
John Brown doesn't want to be a number 5 receiver.
I know that.
That's why he's not on the Vegas Raiders.
Correct. But I would take him if he was willing to come on this team and accept that role. Yes, 100%. I would take John Brown. He's a vet. Okay. He still has something in it. Yeah, for sure. He knows the system very well. Right. That's another good thing, but he's not going to take that role. No.
That's why he's not on the Vegas Raiders. He didn't want to. He wants to be, a top 3 receiver, I believe, in the passing attack, and that's why he's on the streets right now. No, that's fine.
He'll get picked up. Somebody will. Like, who I could see picking up John Brown? The Lions. They have no help, no receivers. Like, that would be a perfect team for John Brown to go to. Perfect team. The Lions. You sign a cheap deal
he can wait
there.
for an injury. Or he can wait for an injury on a better team and try to fill in there. I mean, don't get me wrong. He still got paid $3.2 million or something like that from the Raiders to show up to camp. Good for him.
Yeah, no doubt.
Got his bag.
I just think the Lions would be a perfect pick for him. I just do. Like he would get a decent amount of yards too. They got nobody. So, hey, we'll see where he lands.
They picked Zay Jones over Smoke.
Zay Jones. Gruden, but the Raiders don't know what the hell they're doing over there. I'm sorry, they don't.
Yeah, they love Peterman and Zay Jones. I don't get it, but hey, each their own. Let's go back to Kumaro real quick because I had a take on him. Kumaro very much reminds me of Andre Roberts as a receiver. Fantastic special teamer. I just think he has more upside than Andre Roberts said. Though that first pass that bounced off his hands reminded me so much of that Tennessee game where Josh threw it to Roberts, it bounced up, was picked off, and all of a sudden we were down. I think Kumaro has more ability as a receiver than Andre Roberts has. His size, his speed is fantastic. He just needs to get comfortable. We're not asking him to be a number 1 through 3. He's gonna fill in randomly at spots as needed. I'm guessing he'll probably get maybe 50 targets this year total.
Yeah. We're too deep in that. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. And I truly believe he becomes our number 6 receiver once Stevenson gets back, because I think they want Stevenson's speed on the field.
Yeah. I could definitely.
Or number 7. Yeah.
I think Kumaro would be great in like the red zone. If you're going to do like a 4 receiver, 5 receiver set in the red zone, because of his height, he's tall, 6'4", man. We don't have the tallest receiver we had, I think at the time, was Hodgins, was 6'3". So he is right now our tallest receiver at 6'4". I think 6'2" is Gabe. So yeah, bro. I mean, he's perfect for the red zone. If you need somebody to go and get a fade or something like that, but you got to come down with the ball too, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one as well. Rams would be a good fit for Brown. That offense with Sean McVay would be a fantastic spot for him, because they would send him on the goes.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So, we have Diggs, which we didn't see any Diggs this preseason. So, but he is practicing again, which is fantastic. He's been full go in practice. We'll see him game 1. Loved what I saw out of Sanders. I felt like Josh was forcing it to him a little bit, trying to get, that chemistry. I think he caught half the passes thrown his way.
I didn't mind.
It's preseason work on stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you notice, that game was Josh was getting rid of the ball in like 2.2 seconds. I mean, like he was he was getting rid of it fast, and I think that was the game plan. I don't obviously think that's what they're going to do during the regular season. They just didn't want Josh touched. I think the plan was just to do a lot of button hooks and quick hooks or whatever, quick slants to get rid of the ball. They didn't want him holding the ball, getting like I said, running around, getting hurt, whatever. So I think that was great that they got Sanders involved on those quick little, passes just to get Sanders ready, bro. Even he said after, he's like, bro, those things were coming in hot and fast. Like he was like, bam, 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 bam. There, so like, yeah, that's good, and it goes to show you, man, he has hella hands, bro. He didn't drop any of them.
No, if it hit his hands, he made the catch, which is what we've known Sanders to be, and his 14-year.
What was your favorite pass of that game? I got one. I'm just curious. What was your favorite?
My
Josh Allen pass? Yeah,
rolling left, throwing back across the body, hitting Beasley on the cross.
Okay, that was beautiful. You know what mine was?
Which one?
The Gabe Davis hook, where he threw that shit before Gabe Davis even.
I did like that one too.
Like even the announcers like, dude, like he threw that thing, and Gabe Davis was still on his route. Like, dude, he turned around and the ball was there. Like it couldn't have been perfect timing than that. There's no defender screwed. There was no way you can defend that. Like that was amazing to me. That's timing. That's knowing your receiver.
That's trusting your receiver. That's the trust that
beautiful.
Which I really think is the reason why we only kept 2 tight ends, because I really believe Gabe Davis will play that role. I believe they think Gabe Davis blocking is as good as Hollister's blocking was, yet he's a better receiver.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was shocked with the Hollister thing. Man.
Yeah. We'll get to Hollister.
I was shocked, but we will get to that. That's the one move that surprised me, bro. I did.
Yeah. So Mr. Roger Holmes is in the building as well. How you doing, sir? Make
Nice.
sure you go back and check out the beginning, because we had a conversation about your jersey.
Yes, we did.
So let's keep moving through this. McKenzie, it looks like he's gonna be okay. Saw him some video back at practice catching punts. He was in a red non-contact, which is expected with the shoulder. He was running some individual, catching individual routes. So I have a feeling he'll be okay and he'll be ready to go week 1.
Yeah, Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's good to go. Like if he wasn't, trust me, I don't think that they would have figured out. They would have probably kept Sims on the roster for kick returns for now, or they would have figured something out. But now that I think thank God, because at first, like, man, they were talking about his arm was in a sling or something like that. I'm like, oh, that didn't sound good. So no, man, they didn't put him on IR or nothing. He's already at camp. So yeah, good. I practice.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I have a feeling, he won't see a full load week 1. He'll probably be the, random gadget guys, but I don't see jet sweeps him. I think we're going to use Burrito week 1 for that until we know he's 100%.
Shit, he might be, because Pittsburgh probably going to be punting a lot more than you think. So you may see McKenzie more than you think, buddy.
Yeah, so we can make this is a perfect segue into Stevenson. Dude, when Bean came out and said his foot was already hurt before the punt return touchdown, that's impressive.
I told you. I said, I don't know if I said it here or on mine, but yeah, I said the same thing. I'm like, look, he got his ankle rolled up on the play before on a catch, like you saw it roll up, and then he still came out and he got that punt return. And that's, bro, I keep saying it. You haven't seen Marquez Stevenson's speed yet. That still wasn't fast for him. Like this dude, I'm telling you, man, he's gonna be our future kick returner, punt returner for sure, man. He has electric speed, bro. Like that's why I was excited for him coming out the draft. Man, I said, man, 6th round, bro. We stole that guy. I said it, man. I still think he's gonna be doing great things here, man, on the kick return game. I think.
You and me both, Wayne. I wish we were ready. We're playing this weekend too. I don't wish my vacation away that I'm on right now, but I am so ready for Bills football to be back.
Pittsburgh's in trouble, bro. They're in some deep shit, dude. Like I feel bad for them, and usually Pittsburgh comes to play, so I get a little worried when we play Pittsburgh because they have a hell of a coach. I'm not going to dog their coach, and they got a hell of their defense usually comes to play. But man, I think they're on some deep shit, man. They really are some deep shit.
Yeah,
that's a bad week 1 for them. Yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Oh God, I'm so ready for it. So let's transition. We kind of went through the receivers. Obviously, we didn't touch on Beasley. Beasley looked like Beasley. He's the second team All-Pro that he was. 100%. Him and Josh look like in mid-season form. We don't really have to touch on him.
Can we stop the tight end? Yeah, can we stop the cut Cole Beasley talk now?
Yes.
Is everybody okay with Cole
go
now?
There. I'm going to
go there, but I'm not going to go there 100%. But I'm going to say it, and it's the truth. Can we? Are we good now, Bills Mafia? Are we good with the cut Cole Beasley? Like, are we ready to move on? Because I think we are. It's game time, baby. Next week. That's nonsense is over. Cole's here to stay. Cole's going to have 1,000 yards this season. I really truly believe that.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think Cole's going to do. I think they're going to work to get him 1,000 yards because he missed it last year when he got hurt, and they want to get him that 1K. So,
dude, he's always open. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, he is. Let's transition to Knox and Sweeney, our tight end room. The surprise cut was Hollister. I really honestly thought Hollister was one of those vested veterans that got cut, that we were going to keep an extra guy to slide to IR. And then, our boy Bean came out and said, we wish him the best. I have a feeling he's going to get, it was a numbers game is the reason why they decided to keep 5 defensive tackles rather than 3 tight ends.
Yeah.
What that tells me is, Gilliam is going to play some tight end, or we're going to see Brown playing tight end in those heavy sets.
You know what I think? I think they just have a shitload of faith that Dawson Knox will turn it around this season. Bro, the one thing about Brandon Bean is like they don't give up on their rookies, man. They are like they will ride that shit till they can't ride it no more, and then finally get rid of it. If it's not, but they just don't. They have something about Dawson Knox must like with Brandon Bean and McDermott. Like he's showing something because clearly in preseason, Hollister showed out. He did. Like he looked like the number 1 tight end. Like if nobody knew the Buffalo Bills, you were watching that as just a regular fan of football, you would think Hollister was our number one watching those preseason games. And obviously that's not the case. So they must believe in Dawson Knox's ability to get better. But man, I still saw some drop passes in the preseason. I still saw some, running the wrong route, not blocking right. So man, like he has to improve, man. This is his last season for us. I think this is it. And if he doesn't do it, that's it, man. I think they'll move on.
We have 1 more year with him. This is year 3. And
as our one, as our tight end one, not getting rid.
They don't give up on their draft picks.
No, bro.
They don't give up on their draft picks. He was a ball of clay. This is going to be year 3. We all talked about Josh, how raw he was, and now I'm not saying that Knox is going to be Josh by any means, but look, Cody Ford's the same way. This is year 3. They're expecting him to now get into that preseason form or that form. Yep. No more mistakes. So we'll find out what they come back and do. Hollister, sure. I thought was a lock because the chemistry he had with Josh from college, and he was one of Josh's guys. Was a little surprised he didn't get brought back. I loved Hollister's game when he was with Seattle. I thought he'd be a perfect fit for us, but we're not going to run a lot of tight ends. I have a feeling. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of 4 and 5 receiver sets this year.
Yeah. That's how we're built.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just but it still goes to show you though the trust they have in Knox, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because really that's it, man. I mean, I don't think Gilliam is going to be used as much as you think. Knox is going to be the guy, bro. Like, he is the tight end number 1, and that's it. Like, the rest won't. There is no Lee Smith right now to be blocking. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't. Knox is the guy, man. That's it. That's what we're going to go in.
I think I really honestly believe that the Hollister release had nothing to do with Knox. I think it's the belief they have in Sweeney, which scares me because of how injury prone he is.
Yeah, I like him, but I don't see him as anything but what he is right now. A second or third tight end. I just don't, man. I don't see it. I have more faith in Knox than Sweeney.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. And I would love to see Brown play that jumbo tight end that Lee Smith was last year. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude. Spencer Brown, man. That's an interest. I like that pick, man. I do, man. He can for as tall as he is, that dude he's athletic, man. He can bend really well. Mm-hmm. He can run. He's pretty good speed. Yeah, dude. Like I could definitely see him being like a tight end here and there, a different, on the goal line situation, stuff like that. But blocking,
Yeah. Yeah. Then that's a great segue into our offensive line discussion. We kept 9 as predicted. No real surprises here. I wasn't surprised at all. I know I got creamed in the chat last week by saying that Bobby Hart could have snuck onto the roster. I wasn't really sure about Doyle, to be perfectly honest. I felt like he looked as good as Bobby Hart did.
He's a rookie.
But he's a rookie, exactly. And honestly, I thought his injury was worse than it was, and they would want to keep a veteran tackle. So be it. I will, much like Paul does about AJ McCarron, I will carry my torch for Bobby Hart as he looks for new work elsewhere. Our starters, Dawkins, Feliciano, Morris, Ford, Williams. Any surprise?
Nope. We called that. That's what we're going in the season with. I just pray to God that Morris doesn't get a concussion, because then that changes a lot of things around. But yeah, we're finally going into a season healthy on the offensive line. So that's the good. Like, that's what I'm really hoping, that our run game is much better than it was last season, because that's really why we passed a lot more heavier than just, I don't know, this is my opinion, but I just think Brian Winters destroyed our line last season, and then Mitch Morse getting hurt again. I mean, it was a disaster. Pass blocking was fine, but I think this season we're going to see the real offensive line. Like, I think it's going to be much better. It's going to be great, no, but I think it's going to be good enough.
It was one of the top pass blocking offensive lines. It was, probably bottom third run blocking offensive lines. However, I believe adding back in Ford, who's better run blocker than pass blocker, and changing up our scheme a little bit more to bring in different pieces. I also think Singletary got quicker this offseason, and you see more explosion out of him. Granted, not all of it was his fault. There was plenty of times that, his guy got blasted and tackled him in the backfield, but I also thought he was a little hesitant at times last year.
Right. And don't forget Mongo missed like 6 or 7 games to start the season. So he wasn't even in the game. So yeah,
and honestly, he came back early and he probably shouldn't have. That pec tear, zapped him of a lot of strength the whole year. So he wasn't the Mongo that we knew from the year before.
But it still was a huge improvement. You saw the running game did a little
over Bobby Winters.
Right. So, I mean, dude, I'll take it all day over Brian Winters, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we have Brown and Doyle as our tackles. Love what we saw out of Brown. We talked about him a little bit already. And then our 2 guards / centers is Bacher and Bates. Bacher looked fine last year. He wasn't all pro by any means, but he was a solid backup offensive lineman that can fill in and get the job done. And I like what they're doing with Bates. They seem to put him at center and said, okay, this is where you're going to go, young man. Just go learn center. Because I like that guy. He's just scrappy.
He filled in good. Whenever he had to come in and fill in, I thought he held his own. I thought Mongo held his own as center too, to be honest with you. I almost felt like they were going to have Mongo be a center in the future when Morse retires, because I think Morse is done after this season. I just do. I think he's going to retire. But we'll see. But we'll see how that goes. But getting Mongo as center and then drafting, another offensive lineman, I think they might do that. But we'll find out when that time comes.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. At the end of the day, I like what we did at offensive line, and we'll see how it gels together. We're finally going to have all 5 of our projected starters on the field week 1. Yep. We didn't have that at all last year. So transitioning over to defense, we'll start with the front 7 and DNs. We had Hughes, Rousseau, Epinesa, Addison, Basham, and Obata. We said goodbye to Bam Johnson, who was traded for a 6th-round pick to Carolina, which doesn't surprise me, even though it was kind of the wrong way. We get the Carolina guys, but don't forget, Dan Morgan made the truck over to Carolina, is now the assistant GM there, and he knows what he has in Bam Johnson. He knows the value he's getting.
No doubt.
So, at least we got some kind of value back, and we just weren't cutting guys. I still think the majority of the snaps are going to go to Hughes, Rousseau, Epinesa, and Addison. I see Basham and Obata more as, the NASCAR package, or if those other guys get tired or there's a ding. I don't know if we're going to carry 6 active on game day. I can see Basham as more of a inactive the first few weeks, kind of like what they did with Epinesa last year, and then bring him along slowly, because of our D tackle situation, which we'll get into next.
No, I totally agree with you. I think that's exactly how it's going to go. I think Hughes and Epinesa will wind up being the edge rushers. I think Rousseau will get a good amount of playing time, by the way. They're going to be rotating him a lot more than you think. Hey, Mario's in the building.
We got a special guest.
Man.
You can't see him. He's all black. Oh, there he is.
Odaba. How you doing, boys?
How you doing, bud?
What's up, I'm doing phenomenal. Just listening to a great 53-man roster breakdown with you gentlemen, Tommy and Mike. If you guys aren't giving these guys enough love for what they're doing, I don't know what you're waiting for. This is crazy.
So Mario, give me your thoughts on the DNs and keeping 11 defensive linemen.
I know, but real quick, I got to try to channel my inner.
That's what I like.
I channel my inner
Channel
Tom.
it in. Focus it in.
Jake Kumaro. No, I'm just kidding. But no, with the defensive line. Defensive line. I think Obata, like Mike said, you're going to have a part of the NASCAR package. I see him playing more with his hand in the dirt inside of the defensive end more than playing as a defensive end in some of the packages that the Bills are going to be using this year. Obviously, we all know about the rotational fronts, which is why, one of the things that we talk about now, the change in fifth-year deals for the first-round picks. This is something that Paul has mentioned many times. You have to either make a Pro Bowl or, certain things are going along with the fifth-year option now as far as if you're a first-round pick. Well, with the Bills playing that defensive front, none of their defensive linemen are ever going to hit that snap percentage in order to qualify for the higher level fifth-year option. So that, the Bills kind of made a little bit more of a financial move than people thought with the Rousseau pick. So it was good. It was good on their part to do that. It's just a little nugget I wanted to throw in there. Plus the fact that, they're drafting a center next year at 32, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just
Super Bowl winner. That's what I like. So, okay. I like that nugget. So with us having 5 D tackles on this roster, and I'll throw this to you, Tommy, who is inactive? We're not keeping all 5 of them active on game day.
That's a tough one.
Star, Oliver, Phillips, Zimmer, Butler.
Yeah, I think if it was me, it would be Butler. I love Zimmer, man. I just love Zimmer's motor, man. I have a feeling it's going to be Butler, though. But if it was my choosing, I think you keep Zimmer in there instead of over Butler. But we'll see how it goes. I just have a feeling they're going to have Butler in there.
Mario, for you?
They do homegrown talent. As far as, I just want to take one more look. So you're looking at, Oliver, Latulele, Butler, Zimmer, and Phillips. Oh man, Boogie's been playing inside a little bit. Obata's been playing inside a little bit. I don't know. They got a bunch of different ways that they can go. I like the fact that they do have so many options at the defensive tackle position in order to keep those guys fresh, just so they can pin their ears back and go after it. I think one of the things that we can all agree on is that the Bills made it to. Let's not lose sight here. The Bills made it to the AFC Championship game, and the reason why they were not playing in the Super Bowl is the fact that they couldn't generate that inside pass rush. Right. Going that far into the season, maybe they felt that, listen, we got to get more guys in this rotation, so therefore we're fresher in December and January, and we can make that push to try to get over the hump and try to generate that pressure because, it's math, guys. Shortest point distance between 2 points is a straight line. Have that defensive tackle push the pocket right in his face, and then you could disrupt him, get him off his spot. That's what they always talk about, get him off his spot. So I like what they've been doing. If they were to activate 5 on game day, so be it. This Bills team is so different than a lot of the Bills teams that we've been talking about over the years that a lot of this stuff is new. And we're like, okay, there's no way they could keep, they're not going to activate all of them on game day. Are they? Like what? And then you find out they end up doing that and you're like, oh, well, this is the new regime. This is the new team. Right. This is the new Bills on top of the AFC East. So I'm excited just to see, them pin their ears back and go get after it, man.
Yeah, great point, by the way. I love the rotational thing because even Addison came out and said, man, to be honest with you, I got drained. Like I got tired. Like at the end of the season, I was done. So I think these guys like Jerry Hughes and Addison are going to love the rotation that they're going to do with Frazier getting those guys. They're going to be so fresh. I think Hughes is going to have a great season, by the way. I think Addison's going to be putting up better numbers because they're going to be fresh coming in, man. So this is the Addison we see this season is the Addison we wanted to see last season. That's what I think as far as Addison goes. And Hughes, man, I still think Hughes has a good juice in the tank, man. I do. I think Hughes is going to have a good season.
Yeah, Paul had mentioned
I don't disagree
previously,
with that.
though. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
No. I was just going to say I don't disagree with that. I truly believe it's going to be game by game basis. I believe that we may, if we're facing a running team, we might see more of the beef inside. If we're facing someone like Pittsburgh, we're going to see that NASCAR package. We might activate a few more of the DNs that can shrink down and maybe not have as many of the big beefs.
But how often do you think teams are going to run? I mean, I brought that up earlier. How often do you think teams are actually going to continue to run on us when we're scoring fast and often? Like, that's the problem I see with teams going against us now, is our offense is going to be scoring very fast, very often. I don't see teams running, killing their own clock. I just don't see it happening. Maybe in the beginning, but when we're up 21-7 going into the halftime, and then we're up 28-7 in third quarter, like that's it with the running. They're going to have to be forced to pass. So I don't see running is going to be a problem with us this season.
I agree. I see it earlier though. I see it a lot more earlier than when the Bills are up. Like obviously, if the Bills get up, that takes that off the table and makes your team one-dimensional. And the Buffalo Bills, that defensive front, and everybody can pin their ears back. However, like I said, this is a different Bills. We're coming into the season with a high potent offense. And you're starting to look at teams trying to go, okay, Pittsburgh, they got Najee Harris. Okay, you got Tennessee. Okay, they got the King Henry. You look at all these other teams and they're like, listen, we have to keep the ball out of 17's hands. How are we going to do that? Okay.
Right.
So then you start to see Buffalo maybe get ahead of that with their defensive line rotations, with the guys that they sign in the offseason and with the guys that they're bringing back and say, listen, okay, we're going to have to be very conscious of this because they're going to try to run on us to shorten the game to get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. We got to find a way to stop that early because we know the last couple of years hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows trying to stop the run. So that all being said, teams could probably keep the ball for a number of times to put the pressure back on Buffalo. Say, listen, we've only, it's been the first half, we're up 14-7, but we've only had the ball for 9 minutes. Like, what's going on here? So I think the Buffalo Bills were just trying to stay a little bit ahead of the curve there and say, listen, let's beef up our defensive line. If they try to run on us, we're able to stop it, and then we can get those points and go up and make the other team one-dimensional.
Yeah, I can see that. We tried to do that against the Chiefs, by the way. That did not work.
No.
Keep them off the field.
Yeah, let's that would take us down a rabbit hole. Let's not go there. Let's not go there. So let's move on over to linebackers. We kept Edmonds, Milano, Klein, Matakevich, Smith, and then Dodson. So we kept 6 linebackers, which kind of surprised me. I thought we'd keep 6 corners, not 6 linebackers, considering we usually play, a nickel. So from a thoughts, let's go with Mario. We'll start with you. Thoughts on the linebackers?
Well, if the 6 linebackers, obviously, I would have liked to see some different choices there at linebacker, but that's neither here nor there. You got Klein. I think that's finances. And you know what? Mm-hmm. Klein was, I think Paul and I did an episode last year during the season, and we were talking about how Klein was number 1 on the team in missed tackles. Well, obviously people have seen those, but the thing that they didn't see was the fact that he was in position to make those tackles. He's a very headsy player. He really knows where the ball is going to go on certain plays in this net. Even though you're going to be playing nickel majority of the time, having Milano and Edmonds. Milano has been hurt before. Edmonds has been hurt before. You have to have formidable backups in there. Matakevich, I don't really get Matakevich because he's more of a special teams guy at this point. Could he play in there? Yes. Smith is the guy that I think is going to be turning some heads this year if he gets on the field enough. But, I understand your apprehension there with the Buffalo Bills and the fact that you wish they would have kept 6 corners instead of 6 linebackers. But linebacker has always been a point of contention on this team. So here's the thing that I think about it with the linebackers. You got 6 of them, but you didn't take as many corners. Well, the fact is, the corners do have that safety blanket of which I believe is the best safety tandem in the league to cover up for them if they happen to make a mistake. So, in that respect, I could see them keeping more linebackers than corners as far as that goes. And you got to think too, Poyer's like a linebacker for crying out loud.
No, I honestly, he stole my thunder. I 100% agree with him. No, I 100% I agree with everything you said there. The only thing I thought, honestly, I didn't think Klein was going to make the team, but I think Klein
cost them more money to get rid of him.
Right, that's the only reason. Exactly. But I do like Klein when they put him in blitz packages. I think Klein was really good on blitz packages last season. I think he failed against like everything else, to be honest with you. Terrible tackler, like very bad at tackling. But he's a veteran. The contract's there, like you said. It is what it is. But yeah, no, everything else I agree with. And by the way, Saran Neal is a hybrid. He can play linebacker as well. So just throwing that out.
Yeah, the Buffalo nickel, right? You know how much Paul loves the Buffalo nickel.
I love Saran Neal, man.
So let's transition out of there. You know, I'm trying to keep you know, track of the time as hashtag is doing 2 shows tonight for those that are in the chat. We're doubling up. Mario,
a BOGO. We got a BOGO.
Yep. So Mario is going to be doing an AFC East roundtable after this. So I want to make sure I get him out of here on time.
Nice.
So let's get to the secondary. From the corners, we kept White, Wallace, Johnson, Jackson, and Neal. No surprises.
Nope. None.
You know, Hyde, Poyer, Johnson, and Hamlin. I guess the only, you know, somewhat that could be controversial is some people liked Thomas more than Hamlin. Other people liked Hamlin more than Thomas. I didn't care either way. I personally liked Hamlin.
Love him. I love what he did in the preseason, man. I think that guy has a lot of growth, a lot of potential. He's going to be good in the league, I think. I think he was where we drafted him, man, that's a hell of a pick, man. That's a hell of a pick.
Yeah.
Now, comparing to years past really quick, I just want to ask you guys. I think I'll start with Mike, then I'll go to Tommy. If you had to, on a scale of 1 to 10 of worry, if you had to start Hamlin and Johnson as your starting safeties right now with Wallace and Trey White as your corners, 1 to 10, 10 being I'm terrified, 1 being it doesn't really bother me. If those 2 guys had to be your starters this year, how worried are you guys?
9.
A 9, really?
Okay. Losing Marlowe covered up a lot of deficiencies last year when there was an injury.
Don't talk about
So I am. Hamlin's a rookie. Who, although looks like he has a lot of potential and can get there, we lost so much experience back there when we lost Marlowe.
Oh yeah.
Johnson, I don't know what he is. Really, honestly, I haven't seen enough of him to really know what he can do. So it would freak me out. I would be losing my crap if we lost both of them and the 2 young guys were starting.
Oh yeah, I wasn't saying like you lose. I was just trying to say I like what the Bills are doing as far as they're planning for the future, because you know you're not going to have Hyde and Poyer forever. The next 2 or 3 years, like next year we have this discussion, you're probably at like a 5. You know what I mean? If we're talking about the worry with these 2 guys. But I love how, I mean, you're talking about, you brought in a young Oliver, you brought in a young Edmonds. Milano was in his 2nd or 3rd year. So you always had these young guys. Rousseau's in his rookie year now. You always had these young guys sprinkled in with some of these veterans. So now you got Wallace who's coming up. You know, he's here another year. Trey White, you know what you have with him. It's almost like before when the Buffalo Bills safeties, Hyde and Poyer, were covering up what would happen with the corners. Pretty soon you're going to have corners that are more experienced that have to try to help out the safeties, and that front 7, everything that happens in front of them has to be taken care of. So I like how there's that division, and like, okay, you could tell which one is the Poyer and which one is the Hyde between Hamlin and Johnson. They're not just both hammers. You can't have 2 hammers back there. It won't work. So I like the fact that the Bills are getting ahead of the curve now and getting younger at the position, and I really like what we have in those 2 safeties right now.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I wouldn't be that worried. I mean, I'd be a little worried, but I'd be like at a 7.
Oh yeah, I'd still be worried,
but not crazy. Not crazy. Not a 10. Not a 9. I'm at a 7. All right.
I would be a 9. Like Hyde and Poyer cover up so much in our defense. If we lost them for you know multiple games,
yeah. Most underrated safeties in the league.
Yeah, I could be completely wrong, and Hamlin and Jota come in and fill in, and we'd be fantastic, and I would be, you know, having a nervous breakdown for nothing. But this year, I'm at a 9.
But good news, those dudes stay healthy. By the way, those dudes don't have an injury history. That's the one thing about really our knock on wood. Our defense has been pretty good, except for the one guy, Harrison Phillips, which I feel bad for, man. Good guy. He's having a good preseason, but, man, I don't I already had him on a roster bubble to begin with, and he was having a good preseason. And then, man, poor guy, man. Like, it's just like, I don't know what his future looks like, man. I'll be real with you guys on the Phillips thing. But other than that, our team's kind of healthy, man. Our team's been pretty healthy for the most part.
Just one thing I want to go over real quick.
I'm excited.
With you guys. I just wanted to, because I look at obviously some of the next gen stats and this and that. When you look at Trey White, Wallace, a majority of the time when he wasn't hurt, I'm saying in game I'm talking about. You had Trey White, Matt Milano, Tremaine Edmonds, Poyer, and Hyde. Those 5 guys, for a majority of the games that they've played, like you just talked about staying healthy, they have played 100% of the snaps. Now, you don't get that way if you have a defensive line that is not taking care of their job up front, eating up bodies when you need them to. So let's attribute, the fact that those guys have been able to stay healthy, especially Poyer for me, because that dude sticks his head everywhere.
Dude.
And he is an animal. So
he lays it. Micah too, man. Bro, they hit you. You know it.
He brings it up.
Yeah.
But the fact is, those guys have been able to play 100% of the snaps for a lot of games in the past 3 years because of what that front 4 has been able to do. So I just wanted a little nugget right at the end to throw it.
Yeah, no doubt.
No. And then special teams, we have Ferguson, Bass, and Hawk, which really I don't care about our punter as long as he can hold the ball, and he holds the ball better than Bojo.
Yeah, that's all I cared about. But by the way, Bojo's like a free agent now, right?
He got traded to Green Bay.
Oh, he got traded? Okay.
Yeah, he got traded to Green Bay.
Traded?
No.
Bojo.
Yeah, he got traded to Green Bay.
Oh,
yep.
Bojo.
It was like when the Jets took a punter in the second round the one year. Remember that?
Unbelievable. That's the Jets, though. That's what the Jets do.
And coming up at 8:45, ladies and gentlemen, coming up at 8:45, we're going to have an AFC East roundtable. So just wanted to throw that out there. So you can go get your popcorn ready when Mike and Tommy are done. You can hop right back in. I have a Pats fan and a Jets fan. Unfortunately, the Dolphins fan canceled last minute. He had a family emergency. So, I think he went to go tell Tua that he actually throws right-handed instead of left. But that's just me.
Your Dolphins fan was TD, right?
Yes.
Oh,
so you'll be able to actually get a word in on this show with TD not there.
That guy talks the talk, boy. He's a trip, man.
So
he runs solo.
All right, hey Mario, thanks for jumping on with us and talking the defense. We're gonna wrap up our show early today, so Mario can get ready to go for his show. Tommy, tell everyone where they can find you.
Mafia Sports Report. I go on live Saturdays at 7, and then starting next Saturday, I'm doing it 7:30 AFC East Shakedown. So it's kind of, I guess, like the roundtable that they do, I guess. So I have a Patriots guest on, a Dolphins guest, and hopefully a Jets. If I can't get a Jets, well, then it is what it is. But that's it at 7:30 every other Saturday when the season starts. That's it, brother. Mario,
what do you and Paul got going on?
Paul and I are going to be fresh in the car tomorrow morning at bright and early at 7 a.m. And we're going to be filming some episodes for this week coming up for you guys. We have a special announcement concerning the golf tournament as well, involving Matthew 25 Farms with the sponsorships that we have. Always great to throw a shout out to Mr. Rogers Homes, our sponsor for tonight's show. And it's going to be pretty interesting. Let's put it this way. If you guys have seen the throw that Allen made to Davis, which everyone has by now, just keep close to hashtag sports over the next couple of days. I just want to warn you right now.
Warn you right now. All right.
Don't forget your Tim Hortons.
Dangling that carrot. He's dangling.
Don't forget your Hortons. Don't forget your Tim Hortons. All right.
Oh, Paul Ramon number says hi. What?
Oh, Paul. Jeez. AJ McCarron says hi. So, all right, we'll go ahead and finish this up. You can find me on Twitter at Apex006. I have been more active recently than I have in the past. So, that's where we'll be. And then I'll be here on Friday nights hosting Tailgate Talk. So, other than that, fellas, thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend. Mario, I'll see you in the chat of your next show. And go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills, guys.